Hello, here we are again to the 6 days of Christmas. So, first of all, I hope that you've had a lovely time and I hope that it all went well. No burnt offerings on that Christmas dinner table. And I hope that it had lots of lovely presents, a few of them crafty, let's hope. And if not, maybe something to look forward to in the new year, something like that. Um, my 6th day of Christmas is going to be about techniques, but also things that I couldn't be without in my craft room. So essentials, really. So the sort of thing that if you were going to say to somebody, why don't you get into crafting, especially if we've got a little while stuck indoors in the winter days, then maybe it's the sort of things that someone would like to start off in the basics. And I have to say, this is almost number one for me. Not necessarily this one, although if not, why not? But it's a stamping platform. So if you are new to stamping, I'm talking about rubber stamps. I'm talking about stamping onto card and trying to line up things and get a good image, because that's what us crafters want. We want to be able to send something that looks good and a nice finish to it. So this is something that would be my go-to, a stamping platform. I do use sometimes the acrylic blocks. Acrylic blocks are this. Hold on, let's just grab hold of one. This sort of thing. Can't really see it very well, can you? That sort of thing. They come in different sizes. This one I like because it's got a grid to it. And it's also got sort of like a beveled edge, a patterned edge almost, but also something that you can grip hold of. And I do like them for little sentiments, and I like them for perhaps little embellishments as well. But I have to say, I really have gone full blown into a stamping platform as opposed to these. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you the Crafts 2 Press to Impress. It's one that I use all the time. I have used many others in the past, but I have to say this one is by far my favourite, and I'll show you a couple of reasons why. First and foremost, it's the price. Less than £20 gets you a stamping platform, really robust, easy to clean, easy to handle, and I have found, I wouldn't say this is necessarily my initial one that I've ever had, because I have had quite a few, but I have them all still. It's just that they get used for varying different things. I actually have one complete one which I keep my gel plate on at all times, so you know, varies. So let me just show you what it's all about. We have got a lid which opens up nicely like that. Excuse the lights shining off of it, sorry about that. You have got a grid rule here and here, so you can go to about 19 centimetres there, 22 by there, so almost a sort of a 7.5 by 7.5 square if you wanted to do it like that. Although this is actually designed so that you can take a piece of paper, which is your A4, pop that into the top corner here, and then you'll find that you've got this sort of stopper here that holds your A4 piece of card in place. So that's why that one is designed so. You will get with it a couple of magnets. You can also get easy lift ones as well, but these come with it. And you will also get this rubber insert. Now, to me, this is almost the secret of this one, that you've got, not only have you got a rubber insert, but you can buy the insert separately. They come 2 in a pack. And then if you get them messy or anything, you have got that alternative to use. The reason why I think this is so good is that most stamps now are clear stamps or photopolymer stamps, and they have no cushioning to them, like the old rubber stamps on the wooden bases. They have already got like a cushion to them if you look at them, and that bit is missing. So on those stamps, I should say. So you really still need that bit of an oomph. And this is your oomph. This is your oomph pad. If you have got unmounted rubber stamps and you want to use them, that's when you would take out this and you would use it without your rubber mat in, and bearing in mind that you then have got your rubber mat on the back of your stamp, so you would be okay for your oomph bit. So available in packs of 2, extra oomph in case you get them mucky or dirty, but that is your basis. Now, also available with them is the clear acetate grids or templates. Now these come in a pack of 10 because they are really usable and usable again. You probably can see I've got marks on these already. So they are positioned or made so that they fit into your template here absolutely perfectly. Of course they would fit into other ones, but not as perfectly because they have this notch taken out here. They will protect your base here. So say for example you put your stamp on the side and then you wanted to ink it up and you wanted to keep doing loads of them, loads of different samples with the same one, it would protect your base from the ink. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. It's also handy for templates for actually cutting and sizing things because it's clear and you can see through things. And John Lockwood does a good demonstration for you on his YouTube channel with regards to sizing for layering dies and nesting dies, and that works really well with these templates as well. So they're the clear templates and they come in a pack of 10. And then you have also got one more accessory, and that is your ordinary templates, so just your basic templates. So they are exactly the same as these ones are, fitting into your notch bit here as well, but they come in a pack of 50 and I use them for all sorts of things. They can be of course used to actually make up your template and everything like that, but I just find they're ideal to give a practice on. So we could put our clear tape template like this, of course made of paper, and we could stamp our image and see if it comes out nicely, if we're happy with it, if we're happy with the positioning of it on our card and that sort of thing. So it's really handy like that. I have to say I also use it as some clear paper to be able to do colouring on the back of it. I will use it as my funnel for my glitters and things, embossing powders, all sorts. It's handy to have some paper in there. But it fits so nicely in here as well. So it's a really handy addition, and they come in a pack of 50, as I think I said. So let me show you a quick card that will also show you just how the stamping platform works. I'm sure you're probably aware of it anyway, but let's go for it. So I've already cut out a card, which is 4.5 by 6.5. because I'm going to make it into a 5x7 card in the end. So I've cut out all the templates first. So this is my middle piece of card. This is the piece that I want to stamp on, and that is going to go in there. But before I stamp on it, I want to do some colouring. Okay, so it's going to be a bit of a mishmash of colour, but I'm actually going to do it in a slightly different way. So watch and learn, folks. So let's bring in a second piece of card. So I'm going to bring in my second piece of card. Now I've actually got it in here, but it is irrelevant as to whether I've got it in here. So I'm going to take some colours, and let's bring these colours down here. These are some Memento inks. They are fade resistant dye based inks. You can use any inks you like, distress inks or anything for this technique. It's a fairly simple technique, and I'm just going to say I don't need such a big piece of card, so let me just chop that down because we don't need such a big piece of card for this. We'll go with that piece. Yeah, not straight. We don't need this bit straight. We do not, because we're going to put some colour down. So first of all, I'm going to get my colours, and I'm just going to put them in blobs. Okay, it's going to look horrendous. So don't worry, just go a bit blobby and you will see the magic. So I'm putting it in really vivid colours because this card is going to be for a quick card that you suddenly think, oh my goodness, I've forgotten it's someone's birthday. And not only someone, but that someone is a teenager, that someone is a man or a woman, but someone that, oh goodness, I forgot all about it. Even if they're sitting in your room right now and they've just told you that their birthday is tomorrow, and you think, God, wouldn't I be the wonderful Boxing Day hostess to be able to show people that I haven't forgotten it's their birthday? Yeah, right. Okay, so I've put down my vast, vivid colours. Mrs. Blobby, eat your heart out. I'm going to wait for a second or two for that just to dry. Just going to give it a very quick, it's not really wet, but I do want it to just dry a bit. So, yes, just popping that over. Okay, now going to pop that into the corner. So I have still got a straight edge. Now with other stamping platforms that I've seen people use, they are happy to put their piece of card there, put their magnets down, and they're quite happy to do that like that. And I'm afraid to say I'm not. Lost my other magnet. I'm not happy personally to do it like that. What I prefer to do is actually always put my card up to this top corner, because then I know that it will always be a guideline for me rather than pop it in the middle and then the thing moves. Obviously, the people I think that use those have exceptionally strong magnets, and that's absolutely fine, but it's not the way that I like to work. So I'm just going to pop it up into that top corner. I'm going to hold it down into these pieces here, and I'm going to take my stamp, which is a woodware stamp, an old woodware stamp, but I think it works quite nicely. So I'm going to pop out one of my clear templates over the top here so that it protects my work whilst I decide quite where it is that I want my stamp to go. And I want it to go more or less in the middle anyway, so I'm going to pop it down there. But if I had, which I'm telling you I have because I did it earlier, some residue ink on there, on the stamp, I could easily transfer that into perhaps the wrong place onto my finished work if I didn't use something like this to protect it. And being the clear one, it does mean that I can actually see through it. I could obviously protect my work with one of these, but I wouldn't be able to see where I'm positioning my stamp. So with the clear one, I can see right through where I want it to go, and I'm happy with that. So I bring over my lid and I pick that up, and then I can take off my clear template, and we know that that is then positioned in the right place and no problem whatsoever. Now, one thing I always use is my blackboard eraser. I'm sure that you will have seen one of those. I've put a fancy cover over it, but otherwise it just says blackboard eraser on it. And I use this for actually giving pressure to my platform. I'll show you what I mean in a second, when I'm actually inking something. So we need to ink up our stamp. And the idea is that we put ink on our stamp like that. And we simply check in that we're all in the right position in this corner. We turn that over, and with my blackboard eraser, I can then push evenly down onto my basis. And as you can see, it hasn't all come out properly. I did it on purpose because I wanted to show you what a platform does. Because if you ordinarily had done this and you didn't have a platform, you just had a stamping block, it would be, well, you'd have to go with that or throw it all away and start again. But with the stamping platform, the idea is that you then ink up again. You can go again and again and again, but ink up again, and I will do it properly this time. And we can then stamp back, making sure that we've got our card in that top corner again, just where it was. pop it back over, press down again, and then we can see that we've got that nice strong image. And I'm actually going to go over one more time because I do want a very strong image on this. So you can keep going over and over again. Just always make sure that your card is in your position, which is obviously helped by your 2 magnets. And then just, obviously you could pummel it like this, but I like to use this for a big pattern. And there we've got our lovely image already done. Now, whoops. At this stage, I might decide that I really want to carry on with that and do loads more. And so I'm just going to pop my piece of paper in there. So that will then protect my rubber base, this base, because when I cross that over, I've then still got residue ink there. And then that's fine. I can leave that in place and use that at another time. So let's just make this card up for you. Now, I'm going to use a very simple idea today, really, really simple. I'm simply going to cut this out. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to how well I cut it out. I'm going to give it a bit of a border, but I'm not going to be fussy cutting it, but you could if you wish. I am going to just cut up, when the letters go up, I'm just going to cut up that, but I'm not going to bother when it comes to that H. I'm not going to go into this bit here, but again, depending on how much you've got to do and how long you've got. I mean, has that person whose birthday it is tomorrow just said, oh, I'm just going in 5 minutes when you're finished in your craft room? You haven't got time to do those little bits. Okay, so I'm just thinking of you. So I'm then just going to come across here. Now I am going to go into this bit because I do want it to be a bit of a hole. Hole? That's not really the word, is it? But I also wanted to keep together. So on this junction here, where it's still joined, I want it to stay still joined because I don't want to be, remember this guest is going in 5 minutes, 4.5 now, and I don't want to be fiddling about trying to piece this all together. I just want to get the very basics. So then I'm just going to come round here. So this is obviously a happy birthday, and just as I said, a quick card. But the stamping platform is obviously fantastic. You've seen many a time that we've used it. But if you've got yourself a stamping platform over Christmas, or you think you need a new one, this is something that I would recommend for any crafter that you get in your stash. Oh, that you can use that to cut out to do your stamping. I just think it's the best. So I'm just going to trim a little bit, I'm not being too fussy, but I am in a couple of places. And then just this section here, I would need to cut that a little bit. So I'm just going to go in there and just cut out a little bit. But as I said, the guest is now going in 4 minutes and they're getting their coat on. And I still want to be hostess with the mostess, despite the fact that I've been in my craft room whilst they're here. I just want to give them a card that looks as if I've remembered it was their birthday after all. So, happy birthday. So that splodge of colour that we had now looks pretty splendid, don't you think? So let's quickly grab our card. So there's our card base, a 5x7 card base. I've taken a piece of glitter paper in red because I thought that would look good, and I've cut that out just 1/2 centimetre. Oh, sorry, this is actually in inches, isn't it? It's unusual for me, but it's just 1/4 inch smaller all the way around. So this is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. So then I'm going to put my piece on the top here. which is 4.5 by 6.5, and that's going straight onto my glitter. Okay, so they've got the shoes on now. They're nearly going. But yes, I'll be there in a minute. I'm going to pop that on there, but I'm going to put some foam on the back so that it sits up. Because despite the fact that this is a quick card, we need them to be wowed, don't we? We need them to say, oh my goodness, you must have spent hours doing that. Well, all of a few minutes anyway. But with the help of a stamping platform, even less, eh? So I'm just going to make sure that I've got foam on areas that might bend a little if I don't. So that will do me nicely. Just take off the backings and then, whoops, flicking it everywhere I am. In such a festive mood. Eh? And then just a little bit of glue on those bits to be sure that it stays. Turn that over. Bring my card in. I've noticed, hold on a second, that I've now got ink on my board there, so I'm just gonna remove that because we don't want the chance of that getting mucky. We do need to think that we've done it before, don't we? Turn that over, pop that into the middle, grab my gems, open the back end, grab my gems with, oh, it's taken me longer to find the taller ones here, hold on. Let's just grab a couple using the gems that I've got here, which are all the different sizes, because then it sort of looks a bit random, and we like a bit random, don't we? So big ones, small ones, ones as big as you like. And I bet you're singing now. Oh, can't get hold of it. Oh, come on, little diddly one. Thank you. On my finger. So a few sparkles, making it look as if it's all super duper organised. Don't want to go too mad, but I do want it to look nice. Whoops. I think that'll do us. That'll do us, will it not? Because they're just about to get in the car, don't forget. So, stamping platform. If you've got one, do use it. It really is a game changer. I used to be very, very happy of doing stamping with stamping blocks, I have to say. But I've also found that if I use my stamping platform, it really gets me out of a lot of trouble as well. So just a very quick, basic card, but made from using my stamping platform. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I've got 5 more days yet to show you some more essentials that I would use when it comes to crafting. Take care, and thank you so much for joining me. All of the things that I've used today are available over on the MaximumCrafts.com website if you would so like to. If you haven't got them in your life and you suddenly need them in your life, thank you very much for joining me. Take care. Bye.